Hello, everyone. I hope you are having a fantastic evening or afternoon, depending on where you are watching this from. This is the Owlet coverage on the Broadcast GG channel. My name's PkMnPanda, joined on the cast today by Hori. What's up, man? How's it going? We finally got a cast together.
I know, Panda. It's a long time coming, so...
It is a long time coming.
It's going to be a great match, I think, tonight. Unfortunately, it's not the match that we expected.
Not the match we... Of course, there is one team that we expected that will be coming through here, and that is Team Burn. Team Burn, of course, it's this team has been put together through a drafting system that we do here at the Owlet coverage, so that way we make sure that everybody has a nice, comfortable six-pack of a team to go into these tournaments with. It's unfortunate, or I suppose at this point, it's very fortunate to say that the actual Megs could not end up coming through to the tournament. So now we have a new rendition, the actual Megs now, will be playing tonight. The real Megs will be playing tonight. And that team is covered by Owlet admins and myself.
Yeah, so we'll get to see Panda do his thing on the field here. So it'll be absolutely fantastic to see him cast and play at the same time. When it comes to the Megs, though, you'll see a team that's basically sort of grown up together and actually turned into a very, very decent team here. And we'll get to see them sort of show off their thing and see what they can do here against the admins, who are going to put up a pretty decent fight. And I know that you have a little bit of a bit of a vendetta against this team. I don't know if does the crowd out there know about your association here with Burn?
I wouldn't say that it's any bridges to burn per se, but you know, it's I have worked with this team in the past. A few of the names that come in familiar to myself would end up being, you know, I know Edix is a fantastic main tank, of course. They are led by player Merge on this roster as well. Very fantastic hit scan main. Also flexes over to a multitude of heroes. We know that 3-3 patch didn't exactly feel comfortable for many people. And this team ended up kind of flexing around it and kind of reaping the benefits from them as well. A couple new names for me, of course, everybody around Edix and Merge, of course. We're going to have to see how they kind of figure things out here as we load into our first stage on Lijiang Tower. It's going to be the night market.
Yeah, and it looks like the admins here have decided to go with a pretty decent triple tank comp, looking like with Panda himself here on DPS. So he will be going in on a soldier, trying to see if he can do any damage here, but the twin tanks coming in from Burn as they're trying to sort of stay alive as best as they can and try to sort of overwhelm them with health. But Panda here is able to demech Collywog as we're sort of coming through, and Edix comes in on the hamster, gets slept immediately as Mort takes out Lisecki, and now the admins having a little bit of their way here with Burn. They're coming through, trying to see whether or not they can actually just finish off everybody else here on Burn. A little bit surrounded here is the main tank here of Sipit, but it looks like he's going to be able to snap. Thought he was going to survive, not going to be able to do so. Spaceman, though, does take out Collywog as they refuse to fight on to the point as the fight has now transferred out into the lobby as Merge has now decided to go crazy there on this hog. He wipes out the admins. Panda, what happened?
Well, during that entire engagement, of course, we didn't end up rotating to the point whatsoever. We got a couple good eliminations, got the Diva mech and everything. We're going to have the ultimate advantage running into this next fight. We're going to have a good six-pack of ultimates walking through. Burning the whole hog and the sound barrier, of course, was Team Burn, so going to be a good advantage walking into this next fight.
Yeah, as it looks like the engagement has already started here with the Angry Monkey. As Sif will try to see if he can get some aggression down here. We'll take out Buzzing Faces here. So down goes the Lucio here on the side of Burn, as Panda was the benefit of that nano boost. Unfortunately, gets taken down here, and now Burn holding the door as like two men down. Not going to be able to do very much here, as Spaceman and Luna are going to have to sort of back up a little bit as a bomb gets sent into the back and takes out Noella, and the rest of the admins here are going to have to go back to spawn.
Switching over to a standard 3-3 composition, getting a good couple ultimates out from Team Burn here in the spawn area, rounding about to 73% worth of control point at this time. The spawn camp is getting a little bit out of hand here in a way, and staggering into a couple mines is the admin team of the Megs. Graviton Surge here in the spawn room. Self-destruct set up a little bit too high, still going to be able to find Chunk.
Yeah, still going to find Chunk here as they're going to try to see if they can come out of spawn, but we're already at 90%, so they've got to get to the point really, really quickly here. Now Sift has already gone to that Reinhardt, will charge in, see if he can benefit and charge and see if he can get anybody off the point. Not going to be able to do so, as Buzzing Faces, though, does get the benefit of that hammer. Finally, the admins here are able to stabilize, take over the point here, but at 99%, it looks like they're not going to give it, they're not going to win it that quickly here, as it looks like Edix is going to come back on the spawn, but it looks like he's going to back off, as it looks like they finally do give it up, as Bort does take down Merge finally. The reset here coming in from Burn, so they realize here, one fight to win, but the admins have a long ladder to climb.
Just trying to find a rotation into this quad tank here. Pulling out the Zenyatta. This is the live patch, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have any OPR accounts here in the Owlet tournament, so it is a solid 20%, 25% rather, damage addition with the Discord orbs. Gonna be very clutch to have here. Gonna have to pull out Trance early, though.
Yeah, as a bomb comes in, takes out both Luna and Sift, and that's going to probably be that. As 2 men down already, they come in. Looks like a bomb being coming in from Bort here. A little bit of desperation. He gets hooked and killed right away. That's going to take overtime down, and that is going to be the first point here to Burn.
Not without a few dents left inside them, too. Quad tank is definitely a hard thing to fight against. The admin team ended up taking a few swaps throughout the entirety of the round itself. Still figuring out everybody's preferred heroes, so, you know, it can only go up from here, Hori.
Yeah, so we go into Garden, and now probably some switches coming in from both teams. Looks like Merge here will be... Should I even be saying what their comps are? That'd be cheating, wouldn't it, Panda?
Yeah, probably not.
So, well, we'll mention what the admins are going to go with. So it looks like the original Megs here are going to be going in with a little bit of a pharmacy coming in with Bort and Sift here on tanks. They're probably going to be running a Rein Diva instead of a Rein Zarya here. So try to focus maybe more on the defense matrix and a little bit of safety here on Sift. Try to keep him alive. Let Spaceman come in with a little bit of damage here and rain in with the rockets. Merge now coming in, trying to see if he can get an angle on the team, as Buzzing Faces and Edix here are going to hold the bridge a little bit, and Sift immediately gets taken down. Oh, the big boop there by Edix, so he's able to get the Reinhardt down, and again here, the admins looking like a team they haven't played with each other, as Burn here going in there and sort of imposing their will, but Spaceman doing what he can, will take Collywog off the field, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit of a spawn camp here, as Noella and Bort here are sort of trapped and aren't able to get out, as it looks like the Reaper here from Chunk coming in there, trying to see if he can just finish off people in the back. Laseki will bring Merch back, and it is going to be controlled here initially to Burn, as the members here of the original Megs have to sort of reset and are going to be coming back out again.
Yeah, try to drag a little bit of attention back towards the point. Was PkMnPanda unable to do so, you know. Got a lot of good frontline coverage when doing so. Got a couple good entry frags. So another rotation around the white side of the room here towards the point. A little bit safer for Reinhardt's to traverse so that we don't get booped off.
Yeah, as it looks like both teams are going to still be engaging, but most of the damage here is happening on the side here of the Megs. As Noella here flying almost right into a minefield. Got to be super careful. Chunk there is able to take out the main tank again as Sif goes down. As Panda got hit with a mine, is going to be taken out, and all the kills now going the way of the Megs here. Bort in the Diva. Going to get D-Mech right away. Probably going to find death relatively quickly here, or they're going to try to stall him out. Bort, no man, got to get off that field. Reset with your team.
Yeah, and they're going to have that stagger come through. Gonna try to get this regroup coming through here momentarily as we try to assess our situation. Get the kill on the Pilot Diva, though, so we got to be careful walking through here. Good charge from Sci-Fi to make sure that they stay on sturdy ground. Yeah,
slight advantage here for the admin Megs here. So as they're trying to come through, Sif got to be super careful, but EMP coming in from Merge here. So big opening here for the side here for Chunk, who just destroys the front line there with that big Reaper. All 3 down, and Control going back. 6% was all the admin Megs got, and Merge finishes off Noella there for sure. 70% already, and having a hard time here getting back to point.
Just not a lot of follow-up damage coming through from the Pharah to the Tracer combination. Good backline peel, but when you are running the Mercy with the Zenyatta, what you're losing is a lot of good burst heals. You get a lot of utility with the damage that you get brought with it, but you don't get the burst heals that you want to keep your tanks alive.
Yeah, Merch there getting earth shattered and taken out there by Sif. Solo Shatter looking very angry, but a Diva Bomb gets sent up into the air, but kill still going all the way of Burn here, as Burn they're already at 99% here. Going to try to delodge Bort, who's taking on Edix here on the point. The rest of the members here are going to have to fall back. try to see if they can get rid of that diva here and end up winning this point. The rest of the members here of the admins, though, are still not anywhere close, so they're still trying to deal with Spaceman here, who's on the point, who's going to get taken out. Bort has been demeched, going to be taken out. Overtime still ticking down, but they're just slowly trickling in as Panda here coming in on the Widow, not going to be able to survive, and first blood here goes to Burn. They take Lijiang 2-0.
Yeah. Not as decisive as they would probably want to, all things considering. This is a ragtag group of individuals and admins. Collywog with a nice play of the game, too. A good 2K, two-piece self-destruct coming through here in the middle of the point. Quad tank, though, one thing that a lot of individuals look past is that what it replaces when you don't get the mechanical-based heroes on this patch, such as, you know, Soldier 76, even McCree, too, the Widowmaker. You saw the Reaper come out, but what it replaces is just big bodies on the point, and it just creates a lot of chaos and a lot of difficulties for members of the admin team to actually walk through.
Yeah, it looks like some technical issues here from the admin team. I think Sift actually has to reset a little bit here, so he's probably going to have to restart his machine in order to keep playing. Panda Burn, who was scheduled to play the original Megs in this match, were on the up here, going off of they've won 3 of their last 4. So this was a team that was definitely on the up. The patch change really helped them, whereas the original Megs were on the downslope. They were losers of their last 3 of the last 4 matches. But you can absolutely see the fact that this Burn team was ready to play today, as it looked like the way that they were handling you out there on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and they have the, they have the obviously they're coming out with their strategies too, which is really nice to see. They came prepared, like you were mentioning, so it's very important for a multitude of reasons. Obviously, they will be walking away with the win. Again, this is a casual, fun, and show match. We were able to get a couple admins from the Owlet tournament to band together and to combat against Team Burn. But like you had mentioned, coming away from 3 losses, coming in here, you don't want to appear weak, especially against a team that is a ragtag group of individuals. You want to show everything that you have, knowing that these games will be getting tougher starting on later.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, this is also a great place here, so you can treat this almost like a modified scrim, where you're just sort of allowed to sort of practice a couple things, make sure you can see any strategies that you're going to need, because the way that the tournament's going to work, the map pool really doesn't change. So if you feel like you're going to be able to sort of run something on a particular map, this is sort of a great way to figure out whether or not your configuration is right, whether your tactics are right, whether or not you're going to be approaching specific offenses or defenses in specific situations where you can sort of put yourself into a situation where you lose a point and trying to attack it, and try to do what you need to do, because this is one of those you lose and you go home tournaments. You want to make sure you're down and you're right, you've got your strategies down, and you want to make sure that you've got everything on set. So it looks like that's going to be it for Lijiang. So Noella here is going to be our channel admin. So I think the next map is a hybrid map, if I'm correct, or
it's actually going to be escort. So we should be moving over to Rialto here momentarily.
So it is going to be Rialto here. Land of Goats.
Yeah. Lots of right angles on this map, lots of close quarters, lots of... I can't shake past the fact that this is indeed the shortest escort map in Overwatch history. The payload got a little bit of buff for speed in a couple patches ago, even before 1.32. So it's a very quick map. You'll see a lot of decisive team fights typically happen through the second stage. A lot of full holds on point A, and then a lot of close captures on point 3. This map itself is open to a lot of different compositions. You can play Goats. Goats is very strong, but because of the right angles in the buildings, double sniper is also really good. You can play the Winston rendition of the 3-3 instead of the Reinhardt, and then you can also run a Sombra with it too. There's a lot of nooks and crannies inside this map that Sombra can hide the translocator and just be an absolute pest in the backline.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of those things you just sort of have to be careful with. And a really good Sombra will probably have that EMP ready, willing to go on a decent engage. So it is going to be a little tricky here trying to figure out. And it is somewhat like with the changes, though, it was defensive heavy beforehand, but it's sort of evened out a little bit here by moving the payload slightly quicker. So it'll be interesting to see. So the admins here will be on offense first, whereas Burn here will be able to be trying to sort of try out their defense and try to figure out like whether or not they have plans for Rialto and see if they can actually work out a solid plan here against the admins here. Any ideas what you guys want to run here on offense, Panda?
Well, all things considering, seeing a lot of tanks, it ends up coming down to both shield burst management and just obliteration, right? And you only get so many different ways to go about doing that. You're going to either be looking at a highly combustible projectile composition with perhaps a lot of shield burst and break with a Pharah or a Hanzo. You could also see a Sombra too, again, directly dealing with the big bodies on the point. If they actually have no cooldowns, no defense matrix, no shield, the ball can't roll around nor use adaptive shields. They are quite literally just a giant body of ult charge. So all things can definitely come about for the admin team.
Yeah, very, very different. And they'll be able to sort of figure out what the defense is going to be running here. Just depends. They'll probably try either hide around the corner or basically be very, very sort of open out there on the ledge, either probably high ground, but it looks like here the defense here is going to settle on what they're going to want to do. So most of the members here are getting ready in position. So it looks like 5 seconds here before we get started. It looks like here Panda is going to be going here onto the Sombra, so he's going to try to wreak havoc here into the backline and start hacking Edicts and War and Peace and trying to make sure that he is just going to be a menace here as the members of the admin team are going to be coming through here on offense. It looks like Sippy here has gone to the Reinhardt and abort again on his favorite D.Va. So as we come through here, Adix is going to be trying to just sort of make sure that this payload just does not go anywhere, as it looks like he's engaged already here on the front lines, trying to do anything that he can. As Sip here is trying to sort of push in and make as much space as possible here for the admin team. It looks like a case of pressing S here, as Edix is going to give up a little bit of space, but Merge and Chunk here get 2 quick kills onto Breathic and Spaceman, so it forces Sifit is going to have to back up. And it looks like Noelle is going to be taking down 2. Good defense initially here, set up here by Burn, as the admin team is going to be forced back to spawn. And a pause coming in.
Gonna get a quick pause here, just make sure everybody's got a good-looking. Oh, see, they're playing Baptiste, and Baptiste isn't allowed inside this game. Oh, okay. No immortality fields, huh? Okay, I see it.
So
I saw the commenter, like there's a lot of chatter going inside the match chat too, so I'm just like sitting here sprinting around, just looking for almost anything that I possibly can. It's not
yeah, it looks like Buzzing Faces here playing an illegal character. Oh no! It looks like members have disconnected, and that looks like we're still having some issues here as all the members have rejoined here, trying just to make sure. I think there's going to be
probably a map reset.
Yeah, just going to be a map reset here, because there are some rule aspects here of Owlet. If you are joining us here for the first time, the show match here against Burn is a match where the original team, unfortunately, had to forfeit, so the admins here have decided to sort of step in. As what has happened now, it looks like they are going to be resetting players, and Baptiste no longer on the field here, as they will have to go back to spawn and reset. Some ults here being used. Oh, that was just sort of evil here by Lisecki. As Chuck, as a dragon here, is able to catch Noella as they sort of come in. And now the members of Burn on the defense here are able to sort of come back, as it looks like Chunk there gets that Earth Shatter here to the face as a little bit of revenge for that dragon that came through. Now, it looks like Edix and War and Peace and the defense here from Burn are going to be set, and it looks like we're going to be on 2:27 here left on the clock, as the rest of the members of the admin team are ready and are restarting here. Merge is able to take out Noella again. Just no joy here for the supports, as this they are just getting clicked on, as Siffy's trying to make space here in the front line here. Pushed Edix and War and Peace a little back here, but Edix able to sort of handle what has been coming out of him. 2 minutes here left on the clock. Panda, what is going on? EMP's not up yet.
Yeah, we don't have EMP. Not doing a good job of farming in the backline too. Trying to stay redirected. Still trying to build this mech here for Bort at the same time. Have a Lucio come flying through here. Sci-Fi going in absolute hamburgers too. This is not gonna lie, it's hard to keep up with the pace. Nano boost on the Sci-Fi though. There's gonna be a lot of space coming through here.
Yeah, as the Nano boost coming in. He is purple though, so he's got to be super careful. EMP comes in finally, will catch them all, and it looks like here Buzzing Faces is going to have to back up. Merge here looking for heads to clip, not going to be able to do so, and now good solid fight win here for the admins, as they're going to be able to sort of roll on through. Chunk though gets a late kill onto the Panda, as oh no, it looks like here they're going to try to sort of come back in, as
they should be able to recontest this.
Yeah, they will be able to recontest as the window comes up, as they're going to be trying to take down the admins here right onto the bridge. They're going to try to push through, as it looks like a good job here by Merge to contest the point, as he was able to sort of stay alive there on the Widow, and nobody was able to sort of take him down, and he takes Noella along with him now, as it looks like Merge is just going ham there on the Widowmaker. 55 seconds left to go, and they were able to sort of hold it off. The admin's still unable to cap point A.
Yeah, and like I had mentioned, Merge, a very sound Widowmaker player, hit scan major, whatever university they may be going to, or if they did, definitely very good on any hit scan that you put them onto. Widowmaker obviously being the strongest of the two, but it's all about finding value. So long as you're finding one, if not two, per pick, then you are absolutely finding value.
Yeah, and it looks like here a trade here from with Breathic, as he's able to finish off Merge, but it is still only a 5v5 here as the Devon gets sent high into the air. Might be too high here, but a big shatter there by Edix as he's able to take down everybody in his wake, and it looks like there's just not enough to actually protect, as Borg is the only person left here on point A, as the Dragon will try to come through here at the very end. Not going to be able to cap point A, as it looks like Burn here will hold in the square. And a little bit of BM coming in, a little bit of confidence coming in on the Burn side, Panda, as it looks like they're treating the admins as if they're a little weaker than they think. Is this can the admins sort of prevent them from capping point A?
It's definitely possible. You're seeing even closer holds coming through here.
Mm-hmm.
So as we figure out why they feel the need to BM a bunch of individuals trying to give them a game, I'm not too sure.
So it looks like here now it will be Burn here going on to the offensive push, as the admins here on defense will try to stop them. They did get stopped right before point A, so they will be looking like they want to make sure that they get a couple early fights in, possibly an early fight right by the front door. Make sure that maybe you get as many fights in as possible. Try to burn as much clock as you can here, as it looks like the members here of the admin team going in with looking like it's going to be a Bastion here, trying to see if they can frontline a lot of damage with Fort here onto the Junkrat, see if they can maybe destroy some shields and make sure that they do not get out of the initial spawn here relatively clean.
Yeah, that's the idea here for the admins.
Mm-hmm.
You get the Bastion, you get the Baptiste. You've seen it in Overwatch League, played by Team Paris most efficiently. Go figure on Paris.
On Paris,
try to create the same magic here in Italy on Rialto. The amplification matrix builds very quickly for Baptiste, and you don't really need Bastion's tank configuration to find the utmost benefits of it. So even when you get it very quickly, the Sentry mode for Bastion is still the win condition every time. So long as we keep these shields rotating, we should be more than okay. The question is how we end up rotating away from this high ground and trying to contest the payload.
Yeah, as it looks like there's a Brigitte trying to sort of flank all the way around here, try to get at the admins here, as Edix here is going to try to wrap and try to keep the payload moving and survive at the same time, as it looks like Breathic here is able to take down War and Peace, but it looks like Buzzing Faces here just trying to wreak havoc here onto the high ground, as out comes, looks like the invulnerability, as it looks like this finally taken down, as Merge is able to sort of get it down here, as it looks like the payload has moved all the way into the square with only 45 seconds off the clock, so they're trying their best here to try to make sure that they sort of stay alive. Breathic here finally sort of establishing a low ground position, but Merge is on the high ground on that Widow, trying to see if he can sort of pick off anybody in the area, but Bork gets a good grenade on him, takes him down. That's going to stall him up here, as that was a lot of the DPS from the previous round, so no Widow there, going to be free shooting into the square here, and now that's forced Edix and War and Peace into the hotel, trying to sort of wait for the rest of the members to spawn back in.
Yep, and it's just a smart move coming through the admins, all things considered. You wait for the payload to get to its closest, and then you just try to react to it accordingly.
Mm-hmm. As Edix here is going to be nano boosted, as he's actually trying to sort of come through. Oh, it looks like Dragon will come through, will finish off Sippy, and now Merge has taken down Breathic. All the kills went through on the side of Burn here, as looks like the admin's just unable to sort of hold off there, as now Edix and Buzzing Face is trying to push up, trying to make sure that they don't suffer the same fate that it looked like the admins suffered, as they were trying to sort of trying to actually think that they already had the point, but it's too late, as it is going to be Burn here are going to capture Rialto 1-0.
Yep. did not have highly mobile heroes to get back to the point in time, Hori, so it's going to end up being that only had a handful of fights to go through. Now we get to see through the POV of Merge some of these quick range snipes. This is actually from the attack too, just good quick scopes, always laying down pressure. Just really enabled the rest of all of these to come through. Good back-to-back headshots there too. 3 in a row. Body shot, we'll allow it.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic Widow play there by Merge. Is able to sort of break that defense and get right into the back line there and make sure that no reses came through. Fantastic play there. And now it looks like we will be then now going to our 2CP map. So as members of the teams here, just going to get ready a little bit. Rialto already done here. Unfortunately, with regards to Rialto, there's a lot of... there was just nothing really that you could do. You sort of had to go for that sort of hard stall there. And it was just one of those things in which if you could get the rotations right, like you were saying, it was going to be very, very hard for them to sort of break on through. But they just found a way to get sort of around you, flanked you from the other side. And once they took down that bastion there, it was just sort of easy takings for the rest of Burn. And unfortunately here, we're just going to go into 2CP. You're going to have to figure out, like, what can you do against a team here. They're very, very organized. So, like, you know, as they were getting ready for this match, it looked like they were scrimming and they were prepared. So they were, looks like they're just sort of very good and very on the high here. And they were probably very, very much looking to take down the original Megs here, who unfortunately were unable to show up here. But the admins here trying to put up as much of a fight as they can.
Yeah, it's, you know, putting up a decent fight at that, too. Again, Team Burn, a team that's been playing together for a decent amount of time. I mean, at least through Owlet, you know, picking up a few good pieces of their team here and there and completing the puzzle. Definitely looking stronger. They clearly have some compositions that they've been working out with, but they're clearly backed by, you know, solo paralysis, whether that's Merge popping off on the Widowmaker or Edix laying down the hammer. Definitely carried by some simple heroics from individuals.
Yeah, and that's basically the breakdown here. As now it looks like there's going to be a substitution here for the Megs, as the admin team here will bring in Love Gangster, who last season played for Band by the way, and he was mainly a player of a diva. So Bort here might have a player that does sort of play the same character here. So we might have some role switches that might happen here between the teams. So it looks like Panda, it looks like you've been taken off the main roster. So it is only going to be casting for you. So, or not. They should be subbing me out here for Assault. But yep. Yeah, it's hard to play on a team when you don't have comms and when you're trying to cast all at the same time. Well, yeah, it might be like a minor hindrance, you know. So it's like, you know, you're only one man, Panda. You're only one man. There's only so much that you can do, no matter how good you are. So it's like, you know, maybe it was just too much to ask. So, so it will be Hanamura here. That will be the next map that will be coming up here, as Burn here are going to be ready, and it will be the Megs here, the admin team, who will need another player. So we do have a good range of players that we could pick from. Love Gangster, who is part of the admin team, but it will be Eternal Shiva, it looks like, who will be coming in here for the admin teams. I can't actually remember offhand what Shiva is playing, but I think Shiva here, very, very experienced here already with the Platinum Border. So, absolutely fantastic.
It definitely has a lot of time spent inside this game. That's
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's always really funny when you load into like quick play with your friends, and then you just end up like seeing like that one Platinum Border, and then like one of your friends is just like, oh, we're gonna get rolled. I'm just a Bronze Border. Just like, it's just time spent in the game. It doesn't replicate any sort of skill. It's a nice consolation prize to play in the game. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of my favorite parts about the game as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, you get to see who's been here and who's been here a while and who knows the game. So the thing about it is like sometimes, as with all games, there's just sometimes you just sort of max out, and there's just really nothing that you can sort of do about it. It is just how it is sometimes, and it happens in video games and in even actual sports. So, and you could have played for 30 years, baseball, football, whatever, and you've never become a professional. Doesn't mean you just don't know the game. So it looks like here. Looks like both teams here are starting to just get ready. I think the admins were trying to figure out who exactly were going to be playing. So I think the lineup is now finally set, as it looks like the admin team here will be ready. No, it looks like... yes, they are going to be ready here, as Noella has signaled this, given the signal, and we will be heading into Hanamura. That will be our next map here of the show match between Burn and the Owlet admins.
Yep. Going to be moving into our assault map, most infamously named of 2CP. Of course, that stands for the 2 capture points that you'll be playing around here in Japan. The cherry blossoms ever so seasonally on this map, especially for the spring, at least for you and I, you know, the recent festival that just happened in our local area here in the DMV area. So, you know, it's gonna be really fun and interesting to see if that quad tank matchup ends up kind of roll out here. If the admins now with 2 swaps on their roster see any sort of change of play. Definitely want to see more of that quad tank, though. You know, the one thing that that Merge does really well, along with his team, is just always setting up the pace. You would always think that tanks create a lot of the space where you would see Edix taking the mantle of that, but Merge does a lot of that just from sheer presence alone, standing where they do and just layering in the damage. There's nothing more that's terrifying when you have a Zarya that's high charge, just layering damage into you from afar, and there's nothing you can do about it if you can't pounce on top of that. When the personal bubble is out and you can't eliminate them, it starts to create some difficulties, to say the least. So we're preparing our defenses here. It seems that they're trying to decide on what they want to play, what tools they want to bring to the party. Merge is hovering over that Covenant Sombra, very key DPS inside this current patch. You know, it's funny. A lot of people want to end up trying to say that 3-3 is gone and that tank compositions are gone, but 3-2-1 never went anywhere. You know, the triple support 2 tank Sombra, that didn't go anywhere. I think that's infinitely less fun to play against than 3 tanks.
Yeah, and it just could be super frustrating to play against if you're just not ready for it. So it looks like here the offense are already going to come in, and there's nobody at the front door, to their surprise, because they sort of just pause there and trying to figure out what is going on. But here comes the defense here as Edix comes out here on the ball, as it looks like Necra gets immediately taken out there into the back, though, as Bork, though, is able to take down Chunk. So 1-for-1 trade here, but they do lose the support. But any kills here on the offensive side is a positive, as they do not have very far to go, as it looks like they've just taken the initiative here, as it looks like they've just lost too many, as Necra gets rezzed here. Merge actually is able to take Necra back out again, as Bork is trying to deal with War and Peace, but with 3 men here onto the point, it looks like this offense is going to be solid with all the respawns coming back in. Edix trying his best here onto the hamster, trying to just sort of stall him as best as they can as Buzzing Faces and Merge is coming back here to try to do anything, but it looks like eventually here they're trying to see if they can get rid of Bort and Sift here on the monkey, but the fight still continues as Edix still refuses to die, as the members of the admin team here are having a very hard time to clearing the point.
Yeah, and Love Gangster came back on the Widowmaker, chilling up in the window, shooting shots down and fish in a barrel. EMP coming through, finds 5 members. Not going to be enough. Merge is still having a hard time dealing the burst damage down to Sci-Fi here as the Primal Rage, but a regroup has to come through here momentarily. You can only imagine, but the fight is still happening for the admins. Good sound barrier from Spacing, and the kiting is coming all the way through. These shots from Widowmaker mean nothing. Gangster has been suppressed.
Yeah, he's been suppressed, but I think he's done what he needed to do here. They've already gotten the 2 ticks, they're almost at 3 ticks at 96.4%, as it looks like Laseki here will come back and try to see if he can pocket Chunk on that Reaper, but unfortunately he's probably going to get killed here, and he's going to get trapped in the back, as the point will switch over, as there are members of Burn here who have not reset yet, and if they can sort of finish them off, they could have a snowball here.
Yeah, and they have the ultimate advantage and the spawns. Chunk going down there will be able to get back to the point very quickly. The Shadow Step is good for getting out a spawn. That's at least a good highlight of that ability. They're going to be able to set themselves on the high ground. Good power drive to initiate here. Edix is trying to stop the push at the door. But let's not forget the ultimates that are going to be coming through here momentarily.
Yeah, and you see that as Chunk actually does use the ult there, but unfortunately does not get anyone. Finishes off Fort's mech, though, but that's as much as he gets. But Buzzing Faces, they're able to finish off Love Gangster, so it looks like here that offense is going to get stopped before it even got started here. Warren with Big Bomb there, finishing off the remaining members there of the admin team as they are forced to reset.
Yep. Gonna have to start building up those ultimates, too. And that's the scariest part when you are on the second control point, when you're attacking it, rather. You have defender's advantage. You get a lot of good poke damage as the attackers are coming through the doors and through the little archways over by this little I don't even know what this is. I guess it's a little gazebo with the Mega Pack on the outside, so you're going to be able to get a lot of good poke damage regardless. You're charging your ultimates faster, and when you're putting in damage to the enemy, the defensive healers are getting their ultimates faster at that. Obviously, the attackers can build theirs just as quick, but it's difficult when you have Merge in the background just layering in damage to your backline, forcing out resurrections early.
Yeah, and that's going to be problematic there because they can't use those reses later on when the fight happens. But Bork, though, using his bomb there and able to take Chunk down, so they do have a slight advantage here, but they still have to deal with Merge, who has been just destroying their backline. Gets Love Gangster here as Edix finishes off Sift, and now it looks like the fight has already turned the way of Burn as Buzzing Faces finishes off the last support here as Necra gets taken out here by a mine too, and a reset before it even really got started. They were only really able to get through that to that side door before everything just went wrong for them, but they've got plenty of time here on the clock.
Yep. A lot of time. Let's not forget, you start the entire map with 4 minutes, Hori, and that's what they are rounding about to. So they're stuck in this proverbial time inside 2 CP where you start building up ultimates to try to attack the point with. Sci-Fight, though, no care in the world, no fear going in under Valkyrie, just trying to create pressure on the point, leaves Necra behind again.
Yeah, and that's problematic there. It's like with Necra not having anybody to peel for, she's just such an easy target there for that Sombra as Chunk's able to finish off Love Gangster here. Noella trying to get that res back in on the Necra, but they're already down 1, so they're down 1 already during this fight as an EMP now will come out here as it hits mainly just the tank line here and Spaceman in the area as Sip trying to sort of stay alive here, but another bomb already here from War and Peace is able to take Spaceman down, and it looks like they've already solidified this defense as it looks like Bort and Love Gangster are going to be forced to retreat.
Yep. And only getting a few ultimates out from the defending team are the admins. There goes Noel Lee. Start building up towards that next ultimate too. Swaps coming through from the admin team. Spaceman now over to the Brigitte, so start building into that Inspire uptime, not really getting the force for charge, getting staggered out here in this gazebo area. They got to get the heck out of dodge here. And Chunk's getting a lot of ult charge, although they already have the next Death Blossom. The entire tank line, Sci-Fight and Bort need to be extremely careful. Bort needs to be more sparingly with the defense majors to eat the shots in between the clips in the guns from Chunk, and that's exactly what you find. Good knockoff coming through from Spaceman. Yeah, great knockoff there by Spaceman, but they've ended up losing Sci-Fi again before he even got to the door, so they're not going to be able to do that. Necra getting res in the background, but they still have no main tank, which is a really big problem here for the admins. As looks like here the members of Burn have decided to sort of hold higher up. Necra's decided to just go ahead and use the Transcendence here, and that might be smart because it'll just get them into the doorway where they'll be able to sort of push in finally here as it sort of forces the action back a little bit, but Burn here able to just sort of put the mines here from Edix into the doorway, so it's gonna sort of force them to sort of hold off and wait for the mines to sort of expire. Bomb actually comes out here from Bort as a Reaper ult into the backline will take out poor Necra and the mech here of Bort, as it looks like the admin team again here are just going to be stunted and not going to be able to sort of push right in, as Sift here is all by his Sci-Fit is all by his lonesome as Love Gangster here trying to just sort of survive on that Tracer, sort of contest the point in any way that he can. But again here it looks like just the admin team, just no joy here on the attack. A lot of ultimates had to be used for the defending team there. Burn's going to have a hard time holding off to this next push. They have the rally that they have to be combating against. Ella actually going over to the Ana now, so a lot more sustain going for Sci-Fight in these YOLO charges that they like to do. Not a lot of shield management at that, but Spaceman again, good combos coming through. You're finding Merge yet again.
Yeah, great shatter there. It captures Getches War in Peace and is going to be able to demech him as they sort of push through here. Another set of mines here in the doorway. Sci-Fi is going to have to deal with what is in the doorway here. Maybe pushes through using his shield here, try to sort of blow them up. Necra actually gets another Transcendence here and will force herself and the rest of her team if you're onto the point, as an EMP will come out here trying to see if they can just sort of finish Noella off really, really quickly here, but she's able to sort of stay alive. No, she gets taken down. Oh, they did really focus here as Warren will be coming down here on the Diva and finish off Sci-Fi also, as it looks like Spaceman and Bork here trying to see if they can keep the contest going and at least build a little bit of percentage. They want at least one tick here before the time runs out. We're already at 17 seconds left. They've burned up all of the remaining clock that they've had, and it looks like here as Love Gangster trying to sort of stay alive as best as he can onto the Tracer. 8 seconds left. Noella just sort of running onto the point here, trying to sort of stay alive. Good with the grenade as it looks like Sci-Fi is back here with the Reinhardt. So we're in last fight territory, as it looks like Edict just trying to sort of push everybody away. It looks like he was able to get the Ryan off of the point, as now mines dropped onto the area right on the other side of the bridge, as it looks like a Reaper ult and an EMP burn has just been building up all of these ults relatively consistently as Bort gets demech. Bomb goes into the air, is not going to capture anyone. Overtime is going to tick down, and there's no admin in sight.
Yeah. EMP was actually more than timely for Merge, actually saved Chunk's life. The EMP actually canceled the shield bash coming through from Spaceman, and that would have stopped the Death Blossom from happening, would have stopped the dance mid-break, and that would have been very unfortunate. But, you know, all things considering the staggers that come through, you're never going to really find footing onto this point as an attacking team unless you have all 6. You have to get the man advantage, whether that's inside this little courtyard area where the Mega Pack house is, or when you are, like most teams, rotating up in the top right side. You have to somehow find man advantage in these crazy endeavors. That's where you see a lot of teams all the way up to the Overwatch League taking their takes on it. I think the most crazy and got replicated in this most recent week of Chinese contenders is when you end up bringing a Symmetra to the party and you start just kind of disregarding the choke points at that point, and you start working your way around it quite literally in your own imagination with the way the teleporter works inside Symmetra's kit. Can also help out with those situations. You also see a lot of dive tanks being played on attack just to take away the high ground and force the defending team into a close quartered area, into the back cubby of towards their spawn room, so that way you can really burst down one target when they step out of position. But when you approach as a deathball, when you approach as almost goats, it creates difficulties. If you don't have shield management, you don't have the resource management, you start losing members of your team as you approach the point, and that's just never really where you want to be, and a place where you can't find a 6v6 team fight and wanting to capitalize on any sort of ultimates that you have. So now the admins at least have a win condition. They have the first point of hold and a 33% hold on point B. If they hold here on point A, they would get a win. If they lose point A, they can play for the draw. But the way that they're hanging around here is off the back of Gangster. Light heal composition, but off the walls from Bort, they can find an advantage here.
Yeah, they can. And Merge actually, though, unfortunately, is able to take Necro down right away. We've got a couple role switches here, as it looks like Noella has now gone to the Reinhardt. So it will be Noella going to be tanking here for the admins, as it looks like they saw their opening as Love Gangster got taken down here by Buzzing Faces. Bort, though, able to get down one of the supports as they were supposed to come through, but trades coming left and right here from the offense and the defense here. But it looks like with that happening, it's going to be very much advantage burn here. Merge is going to be trying to see if he can pick off anybody here. Just a little bit extra, trying to make sure while the rest of his team is going to be spawning in, as it looks like here Edict's trying to sort of figure out what to do with Bort on that maze. It looks like Edict's here again will try to sort of slam around. They're using that wall relatively well, trying to just prevent the members here of Burn from just sort of coming in. But finally here, it looks like Merge finally got 2 great shots there onto Love Gangster and onto Necra. So now, unfortunately, the defense here is going to have to probably give this up. Spaceman just is surrounded by 5 people, not going to be able to do anything. And this point A is going to go to Burn.
That was a very Office Space moment right there, where they saw the Brigitte, all the members of Team Burn just like turned around. They were like, yes, this is our time. It is finally here. And they, it doesn't matter who's playing Brigitte. I can tell you Spaceman's one hell of an individual. Beautiful man at that, and it had nothing against you. It's just the hero that you're playing, man. And yeah, got cut down real quickly. Noella actually finds a good Fire Strike kill onto Merge. No resurrection for War and Peace, but they're still going to try to go in here. Is Burn.
Yeah, they're going to try to do this short-handed, too, because they did end up losing more than one person on that sort of push, try to see if they can make some extra space. And Lisecki here with a tire, seeing if they can sort of even up the fight here before that happens. But great job by Love Gangsters, able to sort of take that down. It looks like the wings have been popped here by War and Peace, just to try to see if they can sort of keep this push going, as Lisecki is able to get Love Gangster down, and down goes Bort also, as Merge is able to come back. Oh, the Earth Shatter got booped all the way away. Noella trying to get the shatter in was immediately thrown off of the platform, so unable to sort of end up using it here. And the fight has turned the way of Burn here, as the admins just trying their best. Bort coming out here with that Mayo, trying to see if she can slow down this push here from Burn, but unfortunately gets taken down. A demect Zypit trying to sort of hold off what is the remaining left of his team, as it looks like Necra coming in here on on the Moira, trying to sort of stall as best as she can here, trying to see if she can maybe focus Warren down and maybe cut down the healing here from Burn, but unable to do so here. And finally, all they need is a tick here, and they will win this point as Spaceman here trying his best. It is full stall time here for the admins as they're trying their best to keep the members of Burn off as Merge gets taken down, and that might be the opening.
Yeah, that's going to be the opening. The man advantage is here. Necra actually comes back out here on the Desperation. Moira gets a two-piece coming through. Edix laying down the mines. That doesn't even matter. Necra's going to lay down the healing orb. Gonna end up just healing all the members back up to the point, and this is why you have the infamous name of 2CP lol. Spawn advantage, spawn advantage, spawn advantage. You get any sort of advantage in these fights, Corey, and you're gonna end up walking away with an immediate team fight victory. So now you can see Buzz coming back in, buzzing faces, trying to smash faces now with the Primal Rage.
Yeah, it looks like Burn here just a little stubborn, because they thought that they had this maybe in the bag, and all of a sudden it just did not turn their way. And now Merge here actually trying to sort of make sure that they maybe win it here, as he's able to take down Love Gangster, but he himself gets taken down here. And remember, anytime you lose a team member here on the fight, it just makes it harder and harder to get any ticks here onto the point, because the advantage is so much here in the defense. Warren is able to get Merge right back up here, but they refuse to sort of fight here onto the point. Bomb will clear out the mines as Zypit will take down two, and I think that will probably put another end here to this push. Noella and the remaining members here are going to be able to sort of come in. Warren got shattered, but no! It looks like Burn will actually win the point, as it looks like just not enough stall here coming in from the admins, as they're finally able to take the point and win Hanamura.
Yep, Merge, back-to-back play of the games. Let's watch some more crazy headshot action. You know, this lad works for these. Oh, almost got it, too. That's it's insane. Good quick shots as well. But this is what I'm talking about. Sheer presence alone. Just look where Merge is playing. There's so many sightlines that you can't be necessarily hanging around. That headshot was nuts. That headshot actually came through right before the wall. Actually, yeah. Fully channeled. Oh, my. That was actually clutch. That was actually clutch right there. If Merge didn't get the May there, that stall would have been going on for so much longer.
Yeah, and that was just an absolutely fantastic shot. But you know what a play there. And the thing about it is once you're actually posted up there as the Widow, you've taken out one. You've got the man advantage going into that fight. That Widow is going to be uncontested. There's just really nothing that you can do. And it's then just how hot are you today, Merge? And unfortunately, he was very, very hot here, Panda. So he was hitting
Was that a play on words because of their team name? Let's see what you're doing. Yeah. Is he so hot that the entire team got burned?
Burned? Yes, they did. I
botched my wink the first time. It's not cool anymore.
But they do get the 3-0 here. So unfortunately, the admins get taken down here by a very, very, very well-practiced Burn team, who you will see in the semifinals. Yes, because of the way that this ended up, because the Megs had to forfeit this match, Burn will be the team that will qualify here from the Majors Division into the quarterfinals. Who their opponent will be will depend on the remaining results here of the opening quarterfinals here from the major stage. But what do you think of what's happened to Burn? It's taken them 2 stages, but they've gotten to a point where I think they're going to be a very, very solid contender here in this tournament.
Seeing the same for the second time in a new light too. You know, Edix is actually a monster. I'm gonna secondary at the end there. Everybody voted for Merge, but why not Edix? You know, it's this space is only created by so many good main tanks. That Hamster is very, very strong in a way that it creates a lot of space and creates a lot of pressure, a lot of backline pressure, if you will. So that being said, what that only enables is the rest of the team, right? If the entire team, take the admins for example, are focusing down, say Edix on the Hamster, then the rest of the team just has a free shooting gallery, right? You saw what Merge gets to do with that free space, and then he creates more space by his sheer presence and grit, always laying in the headshots. You don't always have to land the back-to-back headshots, even layering in body shots, softening them up for the dive to come through again. it was very impressive because that composition that was ended up being played too, you'll notice is actually housed around what's technically two dive tanks, two tanks that essentially do the same role in a way too. But in these games, it's okay because you're able to create a lot of chaos and a lot of backline pressure from the hamster, and then you're then creating a lot more space and openings from the Winston, and it's only going to make your DPS look that much better, whether it's merge on the Sombra, or you got Chuck on the Reaper, or you can even throw him back on the Hanzo and that double sniper that we saw from Rialto. It's just well-coordinated team play, and that coming from a team that had a couple draftees added onto their roster too, you really like to see it. It really shows that their practice is paying off.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And, you know, it shows how far they've come because this was a team that had no coach. They had no ideas how to do like VOD reviews essentially in the very beginning of it all. And they've sort of made themselves way better. They got their coaching that they needed from Girardi. They put in a system that's allowed them to sort of grow as a team and just sort of do what you say. They understand the strategies, how to play around certain maps, what they need to do with regards to playing certain configurations in certain situations. And it's made them look very good. And they've actually gotten kudos from a lot of the top teams. I know that Boosted by the Way, the #1 team here in the Owlet Majors, who went undefeated in the regular season, going a full 20-0, called Burn their toughest opponent in the regular season. So that is a big kudos there to that team and their players. So absolutely fantastic to them. They'll find out who their opponent is at the end of the games today. So final thoughts, Panda. I think it's been fun casting with you, man. This should have happened so much earlier at the live event. Unfortunately, it was just not meant to be, and now we finally get to do it. So I've just been very happy to be your partner today.
Yeah, man, it's a good time. Good Overwatch all brought around to competitive Overwatch at that. And that's what it really comes down to. Just good games of Overwatch, whether they're high elo, low elo, mid elo, it doesn't necessarily matter. Overwatch is Overwatch, and it could always use a good pair of casters to go along with it. Whether you love the DMV nature of myself and Hori, that's completely up to you. I mean, it's pretty fun, man. It's pretty fun.
Yes, Nova for life. That's
right.
What I gotta say. Oh, so yeah, that I think is going to do it for us here. So I think that everybody has gone home, and that's going to be that for us. Make sure you stay tuned to local listings, and the semifinals here will be casted here again on Broadcast GG. The finals also, both for the minors and the majors division, will be here on next week, Tuesday and Wednesday respectively. I think 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. So just make sure you stay tuned and check the listings there when the game will be on. But Panda, absolutely fantastic. So thank you very much. And I'm Hori. Thank you for joining us today for this broadcast of the Owlet tournament, the quarterfinals here. The Team Burn win by forfeit, and they defeat the admins as an extra bonus.
The extra raid boss has been taken down.
Yeah, extra bonus of the raid boss has been taken down 3-0. But for Panda, I'm Hodo. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.